random variables and probability distribution ang pinag-usapan natin last time. And that would be the prerequisite of our lesson today, which is the module 2 entitled Mean and Variance of Discrete Probability Distribution. Okay? So, yan ang prerequisite niyang topic, the random variable. Okay? Okay, so you will notice in my presentation, I am using your module. Ginagamit ko yung module ninyo, ano? Ginagamit ko yung module ninyo, so bear with me. Now, you will notice in the previous module, you tackled the concept of random variables and computing for their corresponding probabilities. So ito ang focus natin. So paano tayo mag-compute ng probability? That is actually the actual event divided by the expected total event, and that is the probability. Now, considering this one, let's just try to have a review. Considering this one, we have in here the spinner. Okay. Now, how many division we have in the spinner? Ilan? Okay.
8.
How many division? We have
8.
We have 8 divisions. Okay. We have 8 division of the spinner. Now, in that spinner, yung arrow is ilang beses, let's say 8 times na nai-rotate. Okay? But ang lumalabas is palaging 1. Ayan, palaging 1, palaging 2, isang 3, isang 4. Now, the question in here is, what is the probability that 1 always comes out? Ayan. So, ano ang probability niyan? Ilang beses lumabas ang 1? Okay?
Tatlo, sir.
Okay, 3 times. So, you will notice when we get the probability of this one, we say 3 over the total division. Okay? So, 1, 2, 3 over the total division, which is 8. So, 3 over 8. Okay? So, that is the probability that when I spin in an experiment, when I spin the arrow, now it touches 3 times the 1. Yan. What about when we say, what is the probability that when I spin the arrow, now I have it touches the number 2. Yan. Ano ang probability?
3.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so 3. Ayan, so 3. So 1, 2, 3. And 3 over 8 is the probability. Okay? So as you can see in our table, the score we have in here is, of course, 4 lang ang score natin na lumabas dito. Walang 5, walang 6, walang 7, walang 8. 1 to 4 lang ang lumabas. Kaya yan ang nakitang score dyan. Okay, now, what is their probability? You count how many times that score 1 came out. That is the same as 2 came out. Kaya ilang beses lumabas ang 2, ilang beses lumabas ang 3, and etc. Okay? And that is over the total division, which is 8. Ayan. So that is the probability. Now you will notice the second table in here, the scores is represented by the variable capital X. Ayan. So yung ginamit natin dito, the score is represented by the variable capital X, which is presented, what are the values of variable? They are whole number. Okay. Now, what about the probability? The probability is represented by the small x, or P of x. So the reading of this one is P of x. Okay. Are you following? P of x.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The score x is always the independent variable. Meaning to say, I repeat, I'm saying the score x is always the independent variable. It is because we use the independent variable because we are going to plot them. Okay? Magpa-plot tayo, mag-graph tayo, or we will be looking into its histogram function, histogram or probability mass function. And what about the p of x or the probability? This is always the y. Okay, so you will notice when we are going to get the probability, when we are going to put them into a graph. Okay, I have in here the graph. Okay, so of course I will arrange the probability from 0 going to the highest probability. It could be 1/2. Okay, and of course I will be arranging the score along the x-axis. That's why I have in here 0, 1, 2, 3. Of course, you cannot see 0 in here. Okay, ang 0 is always the corner or the intersection. Yan. So you will notice if I have the probability of 1, you will notice my graph would be in here. Okay, 1 going to 3/8. Yan, 1 going to 3/8. Okay, so pinakamataas. What about if I have the probability of 2, which is the same as 3/8 in the table? Now it follows the graph of the probability of 1. Okay? Yan. Nakikita ba? Are you
Yes,
following?
sir.
I'm just following your module. Kasi
Yes.
sa totoo lang, yung module natin, it was designed for a module that is to be easily understand. Ang problema dito kahit binabasa mo kung hindi ka nakikinig, wala pa rin yung mga iba kahit nagbabasa yan. Kung hindi talaga mathematically inclined yan, ang hirap pa rin. Kahit sabi natin, yung module natin was designed for student. This was not designed for me, but it was designed for you as my student. Okay? So, ganyan yan. Okay? Okay. You will notice, what about the graph of 3? Ayan. The probability of 3 is 1/8. And the probability of 4 is 1/8. So, you will notice, I have in here now the probability mass function or the histogram. Ayan. So, ganyan ang graph niya. Okay? Ganyan ang graph ng natin. Probability natin. Yes. Okay, so let's move on. Okay? So dito na tayo sa pinaka-main focus. Ano ang pinaka-main focus natin? Ang pinaka-main focus natin is, of course, the mean and the variance. Okay? So you will notice when we are going to discuss the mean of the discrete variable, dapat alam natin yung basic. Ano? So, normally, pagka sinabi nating mean, we tried to align the idea of mean by having the average. But I'll tell you, average is not the same as the mean. No? Mas accurate tayo pagka sinasabi or mas iba ang mean pagka inaano natin ang average. Okay? So, ayan, it says in here, it is important to note that the expected value of a discrete random variable is also called mean of the random variable. Okay, the expected value of a discrete random variable is also called mean of the random variable. Okay, so we have in here the mean. Ayan, sabi pa dito, sinurela? Siya? Honorable? Sige, bating lang tayo. Ayan, sabi pa dito, the average of the outcomes that is likely to be obtained of a trial are repeated over and over again. And this is called to be an expected value. Okay? The expected value of x is denoted by E of x. Hansa. Bro, ijay sa hanan nga iso na timang kuti. Di talanta. Oh, ni Kwan, ni Bagamton no lumabas ka ni Mampat. Bagamton. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, I have, there are my co-teacher. Yan. So, sabi dito, the expected value of x is denoted by capital E of x or mu. Okay? General term that is actually mu or mean. Mean of a random variable with discrete probability distribution. Yan. So, ayan. Now, if you will be looking into this one, E of x or mean of a discrete probability distribution, parang nakakatakot itong part nito. Okay? Ayan. Are you following this one? Okay?
Yes, sir.
E of x or mu is equal to capital X sub 1 multiplied by the probability of that X sub 1 or variable 1 plus X sub 2 or variable 2 multiplied by the probability of that variable 2. Ayan. So, kahirap ano? So, you will notice, pagka ganito lang, talagang nakakatakot sa mga sa mga ibang student. Especially pagka galit sa math. Ang worst dyan, galit sa math, pati yung teacher na pati siya kinakagalit. Ayan. But anyway, siguro hindi naman galit yung mga andito sa klaseng ito kasi nag-a-attend nga sila eh. O, di ba? Okay, so you will notice this is the way how to get the mean as compared to an average. Ano yung paano natin kukunin yung average? Okay? Any volunteer? Any idea? Okay? Any idea? Turida? Any idea? Wala. Nako. Daniela. Any idea? Wala. Yes, Gisando. Average.
Sir, average po nung sa mean, sir?
Paano i-compute ang average?
Sir, yung value po ng x, sir, multiplied by the P quantity of x, sir. If mo multiply yung dalawa, sir.
That is the average. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Any more idea? Any more idea? Okay. Normally, you will notice that when we say average, and you might be saying, ganyan naman ang sabi niyan sa note. Kaya nga, andito ako para medyo may clarify ko, ano? Have you seen your average in your card? Oh. Nakita nyo ang average nyo sa card nyo? First sem?
Yes, sir.
And that is the average. How did they compute that one? Average. Paano? Any idea?
Sir,
Ina-add
Ina-
yung dalawang SEM. Tapos,
Yes, leniency. Last tema, yes.
sir, i-add po yung dalawang SEM, yung grade po dun sa dalawang
Hindi,
SEM.
yung
tas
first sem lang. First sem lang
yung
tayo.
first na
Ay.
ulit.
Yung
Oh.
buong kumbaga yung buong subject po ipagpa-plus. Tapos, i-divide by 9.
I-divide by 9. Okay, so
Yes.
that is how to compute for the average. Ang dali-dali ang average. Okay? So, ang gagawin when we compute for the average, now we are going to add the final grade of each subject. Okay? So, after adding them, we count how many subjects involved, and that is our divisor. So, when you added all your final grade, that is to be divided by 9 subjects, and that is how to get the average. Okay? Klaro tayo? Now, ano ang similarity? Pagka kino-compare natin ito sa mean, ano ang similarity? Actually, ang similarity ng dalawa, mean at saka average, now they point to you, it will point to you that this result, this number that will come out after the computation will more or less at the middle of the data. Okay? Are you following? So again, mean and average are not exactly the same, but they are similar in the sense that they have similarity. Okay? Similarity of meaning. Ano ang meaning nila? They are pointing out a value that is more or less located at the middle of the data. Okay? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Ayan. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So you will notice, back na tayo dito. Sa mean na tayo. Okay, mean. You will notice the mean of discrete variable is you have not seen any what? Wala kayong makikitang divisor. Tama ba ako?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you cannot see any divisor dito. Ayan, yung highlight ko, may divisor ba tayo? Wala.
Wala.
But we have a multiplier. Okay? We have a multiplier. What is our multiplier? It's the probability. Ito. Ayan. P of x sub 1. P of
and
x sub 2. P of x sub 3 and probability and so on and so forth. Okay? So yun ang uh, mathematical difference of the formula. Okay? Hindi kagaya kanina yung average, i-add mo and then divided by the number of variable that you added. Okay? So ayan, so sabi dito x sub 1 to x sub n are the values of random variable and p of x to p of x sub 1 to p of x sub n are their corresponding probabilities. Ayan. So, ito, x sub 1 multiplied by p of x sub 1 plus x sub 2 multiplied by p of x sub 2. Ayan. So, tingnan natin ito. Tingnan natin yung example. Sabi dito, a researcher surveyed the household in a small town. The random variable x represents the number of college graduates per household. The probability distribution of x is shown below. Ayan, tingnan natin yung table. And so we have in here. So yung probability natin, yung variable natin, okay, in a household, there can be no graduate. Or in a household, there can only be one. Or in a household, there can be a 2. Okay, so ito lang nakuhang data. Now, the probability of having none graduate is 0.25. What about the probability of having one graduate in a family? We have 50%. And that is, what about the probability of having 2 graduate in a household? We have 25%, or that is the same as 1/4 or 0.25. So let's try to consider the probability. Again, the probability is written in decimal form, percentage, or a fraction. So we have in here 0.25 is the same as 1/4 or the same as 25%. How about the 50%? How about this 0.50? This is the same as 1/2 or 50%. Okay? Ayan. Now, papaano natin kukunin yung ano yung focus natin kanina? Mean of a discrete random variable. Ito. So, papaano na ko yan? So, would you mind to have with you your calculator? Ayan. I have my own calculator in here. So, have your own. Ayan. Kunin mo, I will count 5 para may prepare mo yung ano mo, calculator mo. You cannot follow this one if you do not try to manipulate your calculator. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so how is the mu or mean of the discrete probability variables? Okay? So ganito, nasa step 2 tayo. Construct the probability distribution of random blah blah blah. That's number 1. Step 2. Multiply the value of the random variable x by the corresponding probability distribution. This is the same as multiplying 0 and 0.25. So what is the result?
0.
Zero,
Of
sir.
course, that is 0. Any number multiplied to 0 is the same as 0. Now, the next one would be 1 multiplied by 0.50. Result. That is
50.
0.50. And that is 0.50. And what about the 2 multiplied by 0.25? 2 multiplied by 0.25. Oh,
5.
0.5.
5.
Okay, 0.5. So that is the different products of different variable and probabilities being multiplied together. Now, so that when you are going to sum up, ayan, x multiplied by p of x, summation, ito. I-add mo lahat ito, itong kanino. 0 plus 0.50 plus 0.50, i-add mo lahat yan, and that is the same as 1. Tama ba? Tama ba ako? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
0.50 plus 0.50 is the same as 1. Now, do not be confused with my statement before that a probability is always probability is always or has always the sum of 1, yung probability. Pero ang mean, hindi yan applicable. Tama ba? Hindi yan applicable. So when I say mean of the number of college graduate per household or the mean of probability distribution, that is not the same as 1. So pagka mean ang pinag-uusapan, pwedeng 2, pwedeng 3, pwedeng 5, pwedeng 10 ang mean. Okay? Hindi yan 1. Okay? Are you following? So again, do not be confused with my statement when we are talking the value of probability that I'm saying last time, the probability or the sum of all probabilities will always result to 1. Okay? But it is not the same as in here. Hindi kumot 1 dito ay pareho sila. No. It so happen na ang mean natin dito, this is mean. This is not probability. Okay? I repeat. This is a mean and not a probability. Okay? Okay. Allow me to exit this this example and I will be showing you another slides. Okay? So punta tayo muna dito. Saka ko babalikan yan. Oh, wala ata. Okay? Can you see my presentation?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, would you mind to read at the same time? Go.
The
The
variance of a
variance of a
random
random
variable.
variable.
Ayan, tutungang nakikita nyo, ano? Okay, so ayan. I will just show this one, this slide para medyo, kasi yung sa nasa notes ninyo is short lang, short. Okay? So, ayan. So we have in here, variance of a discrete random variable. Okay? Variance. Actually, ang pinag-usapan natin kanina is mean. Ngayon is variance. Now, when we are talking of variance, it is the square of standard deviation. Now, bear in mind that when we are talking of variance, it is represented by this symbol. Okay. Nakita nyo yan, yung highlight ko? Have you seen that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the
Yes, sir.
variance is represented by the symbol theta square. Okay? Ang basa niyan is theta. Theta square. Yan. Or, pagkalongkat, pagka gusto mong magbasa, kung ikaw yung reader, var of x. Yan. So, we will be making use of this one. So, be aware of the symbol. Now, what about if our symbol do not have an exponent 2? Ayan, ito. So, yun naman ang tinatawag na standard deviation. So, I repeat, variance and standard deviation are two different mammal. Okay? Meaning to say, magkaiba sila. Pagka sinasawag na variance, may may exponent na 2. Ayan, 2. Pagka naman standard deviation, that is theta. Okay? Okay, let's move on. So I have in here, the variance is expected value of the squared deviation. Meaning to say, naka-square yan. That agrees with the earlier notion of average squared deviation. Okay? Therefore, variance is written this way. Ayan. Nakakaloka, no? Nakakalokang mga symbol. Okay? But, hindi ito nakakaloka pagka nakita nyo yung example, you will understand the symbol. Okay? So ito. Now, a while back, we are talking of the mean. Now, what is the mean of the problem? Okay. Any volunteer, compute. Okay? Would you mind to compute yung mean natin dito? Kagaya ng napag-usapan natin kanina. Di ba? Paano natin i-compute yung mean? Any volunteer? Sige na. Volunteer. Nakita ko ang palaging nag-attend si Isando Mark, si Elaine, si Di Guzman. Ito ang mga nakita ko last time. Okay? So, leniency. And leniency. Any volunteer? Yes, Gisando. What is the mean?
Sir, 1.7.
1.7. How did you took that 1.7? Oh, ayan. Kasasabi lang yan kanina. Paano mo nakuha yung 1.7?
Sir, I multiplied the corresponding random variable, sir, dun po sa yung value po nung sa pangalawang table, sir, yung 0.10, 0.30.
Ano yung pangalawang table? Pangalawang column? Probability.
Sir, the probability, yes, sir.
Okay, so sabihin mo, you multiply the random variable to its?
Sir, you multiply the random variable, sir, to its probability.
To its corresponding
Probability.
Probability, ayan. So, 0 multiplied by 0.10, 1 multiplied by 0.30, 2 multiplied by 0.40, 3 multiplied by 0.20. Ganun ba, Gisando?
Yes, sir. And add, sir, po yung results.
And then you added them. Okay,
Yes,
so ang lumabas is, ayan, 1.7. So, meaning, the mean of the data I have in here, or we have in here, is 1.7. Okay? So, 1.7. Yun lang ang focus natin dito. Okay? Applying what we discussed earlier, kung papaano ang mean. So, naintindihan ba kung paano kukunin ang mean dito?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Mga iba? Oh,
Yes, sir.
Istonelio, alam niyang siyang next na sa tanungin ko, nag-thumbs up na kaagad. Okay, so that is how to get the mean. I repeat, just multiply the variable and its corresponding probability. After multiplying them all, you have to get the summation of the result. Will always be the mean of the discrete random variable. Again, may tanong ako. Ano ang tawag dito sa 1.70? Ano ang tawag sa na-computed value na 1.70?
Min.
It is the
Mean, sir.
mean. Wala. Okay, sige.
Sir, ay the mean of the random variable.
Mean of the random variable. Mean of a discrete probability distribution. Or in short, mean of random variable. Okay? Are you following? Okay. Balik tayo. Balik tayo sa na-compute. Okay. So ito na. Now, after having now the mean of the random variable or discrete probability distribution, now we are now ready to compute for the variance. And again, ang focus natin dito is how to compute mean and how to compute the variance. Tuloy-tuloy ang mga ito. Okay, let's try to have. Okay, punta tayo doon sa next slide. Okay, ang next slide natin, puntahan ko yung pinaka last na table na lang para. So ito yung pinaka last na table. Now, why do I show you immediately this last table? Or shall I say this one? Ano ang pinaka-purpose nito? What is the very purpose? Because when you are going to look into this table, the table already express or tell to you, or it will tell to you what is really the procedure on how to compute for the random variable, or that is the same as theta squared. Okay? I repeat, hindi mo pwedeng makukuha ito na value ng random variance or variance pagka hindi mo ipapakita tong mga ayan. Nakikita mo yung dami-daming kwan natin dito. Okay? So first step to get the variance of the data, get the variance of maybe your research. Number one step, you try to state all the variables, the value of random variables, ayan, and arrange them accordingly. Okay? Are you following? So ayan, step number one. Step number one on how to compute the variance. Step number one, look into the value of the variables. Okay?
Hindi, wag yan. Ako na dyan.
Look into the value of random variables. Kagaya nung kanina, yung spinner. Ano ang mga value ng random variable natin? That is 1 to 4, di ba?
Yes,
1 to 4, di ba?
yes, sir.
Wala kayong nakitang 0 doon.
Wala.
Wala,
Wala.
sir.
Wala, syempre. Kasi ano yan, palaging nag-start yung numbering natin ng 1. Kaya wala akong nakita. But in here, according to this example, ang mga value ng random variables natin is from 0 to 3. Ayan. Now, after having now the random variable or the values of random variable, and after trying to arrange them accordingly in a descending order from 0 to the highest number, that is from 0 to 3, now try to locate also its corresponding probability. Ayan yung magbibilang kayo. You remember yung spinner? Yung halimbawa doon sa 1, binilang natin ilan ang 1. Ayan, parang ganon, di ba? Binilang
Yes, sir.
natin. Okay? Ilan ang 2? Ilan ang 3? Kagaya nito. Ilan ang 0? Ayan, 0.10. Or that is the same as 1/10. Ayan, 1/10. Parang ganyan. Sa 1/10 sa fraction ito. Okay, look into my yung hina-highlight ko. Ano naman ang probability ng 1? Ang nakalagay doon is 0.30 or that is the same as 3/10. Ayan, 3/10. Ano naman ang probability ng 2? That is the same as 0.40 or that is the same as 4/10. And it follows that the probability of 3 is 0.20 or that is the same as 2/10. So, yun ang probability natin. Ano? Okay? Now, step number 3. Okay? After having now the probability, different probability. Step number 3. Compute. Compute now the mean of the discrete probability distribution, or in short, the mean of random variable. Ayan, random variable. Okay, that is the step number 3. Pero in between, before you reach the step number 3, of course, we will multiply the corresponding probability to its random variable. 0 multiplied by 0.10. Would you mind to multiply? Okay? 0.30 multiplied by 1. Ayan. Okay? That is the same as 0.40 multiplied by 2. Of course, wala kayong makikita dyan. Wala kayong makikita dyan. Andito yan, dito. Tingnan natin. Pakita natin dito. Ay, wala. Ayan. Na-compute na natin to kanina eh. Okay. So, after having now multiplying that one, we add them. Okay, we will add now the different product and that is the mean. Yun na yung nakuha natin na ano. Ano yung nakuha natin kanina? 1.7 or 1.70. Okay? So, that is the step number 3. Step number 4. In our step number 4, we have now this one. Okay. Ito. So, may kwan na tayo dito. Nakita nyo to? Hello? X minus mu or mean of a random variable. So, paano natin nakuha yung negative 1.7? Minus. Minus tayo dito. So that is 0 minus
1.70.
1.7.
Okay, 0 minus 1.70. Definitely the result will be negative 1.70 or 1.7. Are you following? Kaya nga, have your calculator. Okay?
Yes.
Have your calculator. Kagaya nga ako nga nagka-calculator ako. 1 minus 1.70. Answer. Answer?
Negative
0.7.
0.70.
Okay.
Negative 0.70.
Negative 0.70. Okay. How about 2 minus 1.70?
0.3, sir. 0.3.
0.3.
Okay. 0.3. How about 3 minus 1.70?
1.3.
Okay, 1.3. So, nakita ninyo yan yung third column? Kung paano lumabas yan?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ganyan ang anong step natin? Step number 4. Okay. In the step number 4, in the step number 5, you get the square of x minus mean. Ayan. Ito, get the square of x minus mean. So the quantity x minus mean raised to 2. And ganyan. Okay? Are you following? So,
Yes,
if
sir.
you have a calculator, sabihin
Paano
mo,
to palakihin?
if you have a
Minsan.
calculator, sabihin mo, negative 1.770 multiplied by negative 1.70. Would you mind to do that? Mag-multiply negative 1.70 multiplied by negative 1.70. Result.
2.89.
2.89, sir.
Okay, 2.89.
89.
Okay, 2.89. How about negative 0.70? Result.
0.49.
Okay, 0.49. You follow kasi you might be just reading what I wrote in here. Okay? Dapat you follow with your calculator. Kung tama yung calculator nyo, baka ako naman ang pagkakamali. Ayan, check and balance. Yes, check and balance. Okay. How about 0.3?
0.09, sir.
0.09. Are you following in your calculator? Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
And we have in here 1.3 raised to 2 will give you 1.69.
69.
Okay, so that is the step number 5. So get the square of x minus mean. That is the step number 5. Now, you will notice when we took the mean kanina, nagmultiply tayo ng variance at saka probability, and then after that one we sum them. That is the same as when we are going to get the variance. We will multiply the result of step number 5. I repeat, to get the value of the variance, first we will multiply the result of step number 5. What is that step number 5? The square of mean or the square of x minus mean. Ayan. So, the square of x minus mean. Ang result na ito, i-multiply natin saan? Probability. Probability. Where is the probability? This one. Okay?
Yes.
So that is toward the step, the variance. Anong step na tayo? Number 6, ano? So,
Yes, sir.
meaning, when we are going to multiply, we multiply 0.10 multiplied by 2.89. Okay. Nakuha nyo? So, 0.10 multiplied by 0.10 multiplied by 2.89 to give you a result of 0.289. Okay. Again, kung hindi nyo ako susundan, kaya binabagalan ko dito, kung hindi nyo ako sinusundan, if you're not following me with your calculator, you will never feel that you are learning. Ayan. Next, what about if my variable is 1? What would be its the product of the square of mu, x and mu, multiplied by the probability. 0.30 multiplied by 0.849. Would you mind to multiply?
Yes, sir.
Point-
0.147.
0.147.
Okay, 0.147. Okay, so ganyan. Next, we'll multiply 0.40 multiplied by, yes, yes.
Sir, doon po sa last part ng bali yung nauna po yung x minus yung variance of x tapos raised to 2. Pwede po bang magbaliktad yun?
Ito.
Yes, sir. Nagkabalik.
Or
Yes, sir.
punta ako dito.
Yes, sir. Tapos ibalik doon sa
No.
probability.
if that is raised to the second power, it will always give you a result. It will always give you the same result. Okay? But there are times that it will not. And so you have to follow, do not interchange the x, the variable x, and the mean or the mu. Okay? I repeat, do not interchange this one. Okay? You interchange them if you will be an expert. Okay? But to now, to this lesson, for this lesson, do not interchange this one. So I repeat, ang mga ito, halimbawa, baliktarin natin ito. Okay? Ano yung minus natin dito? Okay? Ano ang value ng mu?
1.70, sir.
1.70 minus 0. It will give you positive. Positive 1.70.
7.
Yung sinasabi ko dito kanina, it will give you the same result pagka yan ay naka-exponent. If it has an exponent. Na yung exponent is even number. Okay? I repeat, even number. Ano ang exponent? Even number. Start with 2, 4, 6. It will always give you a positive result. Okay. Now, I repeat in here, do not interchange because when we will be using this one, it will never give you a good result. Kasi kanina, ang talagang value dito is negative. Talagang value dito is negative. But if you're going to interchange them, it will be a positive 1.70. But if you will be squaring them, it will give you the same. Dito lang tayo magkakaiba. Yan. Okay? Are you following?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's move on now. Dito tayo sa step number 6. 0.40 multiplied by 0.09. Would you mind to multiply as I multiply it myself? Okay, multiply times. Parang hindi ako gumawa nito ah. Napapamultiply tuloy ako. Oh. Anong result? 0.
0.036.
Okay, ayan. 0.036. Okay, and after that one, 0.20 multiplied by 1.3. Okay? 0.20 multiplied by, tama ba? Yeah. 0.20 multiplied by 1.3. 1.3 ba?
1.69, sir.
1.69. 1.69.
0.338, sir.
0.
338.
Okay. So after having now getting the product of the probability and its the square of x minus p, now you are now ready to compute for the variance. Before we are going to get the variance, ang variance naman talaga natin dito is nakikita nyo ito. Can you see this one? Can you
Yes,
read
sir.
our variance? Ang variance natin is equal to 0.81.
0.810.
Okay, 0.81. Paano natin nakuha yan? Inad lahat natin yan.
Sir.
So
Yes,
allow me
sir.
to go back to your module muna. Okay, punta muna tayo sa module ninyo. So in your module, we have in here yung mean ang pinag-uusapan natin dito. So punta na tayo sa mean. Ayan, yung mean natin. Okay. Ang next na pag-uusapan natin is the variance. Actually, we are already done with the variance. Okay? So, ito yung kwan natin kanina. Okay? Ito yung formula natin kanina. Okay? Ayan. Can you see this one?
Yes, sir.
X minus
Yes, sir.
the square of x minus mean multiplied by its corresponding probability. Yun yung pinagko-compute natin kanina, individual. Okay? Now, Ang point natin dito is paano natin kukunin ang variance. Kung kukunin natin ang variance, ayan, we are going to get the variance by the dictate of this one. Ano ang ibig sabihin nito? Anong symbol ito? Any volunteer? Anong symbol to? What is that symbol?
Sigma, sir.
Sigma. Okay? What's the meaning? Ano ang meaning? Ano ang meaning?
Summation, sir.
Ah?
Summation or total. Summation, sir.
Summation. Ayan. Ibig sabihin ng sigma, symbol sigma is you add them all. Okay? Add them all. So pagka inad mo lahat yan, yung product kanina, the result will be variance. Okay? I repeat. The result will be variance. Okay? So, variance of a discrete probability distribution. Kanina, mean of discrete probability distribution. Ngayon naman, variance of discrete probability distribution. So, you will notice in here, when we are going to compute the mean and the variance of the discrete probability distribution, I'll tell you, it is better to put them in table. Okay? Ilalagay natin sa table so we can understand how to compute. Okay? So again, x is the outcome or the variable or random variable. And the mu in here is actually a mean. Okay? It's the mean. And p of x is the probability distribution. Ang mu is the mean of the probability distribution. That is the variance. We have already discussed how to compute. Ayan. Balik na tayo doon. Teka. You might be saying, ano naman ang meaning ng variance? Okay? Ano naman ang meaning ng variance? Sabi dito, when we are saying variance, okay? When interpreting the probability distribution, knowing the variance and the standard deviation of a discrete probability distribution is also important since it shows the dispersion of the data. Okay? Again, when we say it shows the dispersion of the data, it tells you how the data are being scattered. Halimbawa, magbigay ako ng quiz, ano? Ang quiz is a total points of 10. Yung quiz na yan. Okay? Now, when we are talking of the dispersion, now, you consider your class. Sa isang class, sabihin na natin, 40 kayo doon sa isang klase. Ayan. 40 kayo doon sa isang klase na nag-quiz, na nag-exam, 1 to 10 na quiz, nag-exam ng 1 to 10 na items. Definitely, 1:1 ang pointing system natin dyan. Now, ang dispersion na sinasabi doon is kung papaano or kung ano-ano yung mga score ng mga student. Halimbawa, 1/4. Sabihin na natin, ang 1/4, ano ang 1/4 ng 40? 10, di ba? 10. Ang 1/4 ng 40 is 10. Yung 10, within 1 to 10 na yan na student, ang score na nakuha nila is ranging from, sabihin na natin, 0 to 3 siguro. Ayan. Meaning to say, naka-scatter doon yung mga 10. May nakukuha ng 0, may nakukuha ng 1, 3 ang nakakuha ng 4 or 3. Ayan, parang ganyan. Ayan. So, next. Ang 1/2 naman ng 40 is how many? 20. Ang nakuha nila is yung score from 4. 4 to, sabihin na natin, 4 to 7. Yan. Meaning, Yung 20 na student, napakarami nila. So, against 10, naka-scattered yung score nila from 4 going to 7. Okay? 4 going to 7. Okay? Are you following? Naka-scattered. Okay. Next, may isa pang group ng student. The last 1/4 to make it 40. Okay, to make it 40. Yung score naman ng last group na ito is from 8 to 10. Ayan, from 8 to 10. And that is the meaning of dispersion. Meaning to say, naka-scattered. Naka-scattered ang mga students sa iba't ibang scoring. Okay? Now, ano ang napansin ninyo sa binigay kong example? Mas marami ang mga student na nandoon saan nakalocate? Anong score? Yung sa example ko,
Sir, sa 4 or 3?
4 going to
1.
Hindi mas maraming student ang nakakuha ng range na score from 4 to 7. Tama ba? Kasi 1/2 sila 20. 'Di ba kanina yung isang group ng student which is 1/4, that is 10, ang score nila is naka-disperse, naka-scattered sila from the score of 0 to 3. Ayun ang binigay kong example. Okay. Yung next group naman, 1/2. Ano ang 1/2 ng 40?
20.
20. Oh, yung 20 na yun na student, ang score nila is magsimula sa 4 to 7, naka-scatter. Naka-scatter doon. Okay? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Now, ang next group of student, another 1/4, that is the highest. Yung nakuha ang score nila is yung highest from 8 to 10. Ilan sila? 10. Now, ano ang ini-explain ko dito? I am trying to explain to you the meaning of dispersion. Meaning to say, the score taken by the student were distributed, or these students got the score from 0 to 10. They are scattered. They are dispersed. Okay? So yun ang meaning ng dispersion. Ayan, papaano naka-scattered ang data pagka pinag-uusapan ang dispersion. Now, variance naman tayo. So, allow me to go with my have this one. Okay, ito. So, the larger the value of variance, the farther the larger the value of the variance, the farther are the values of x from the mean. Ibig sabihin, pagka napakataas ang variance, meaning to say, the score could be very far from the mean. Very far from the mean. Ano ang ibig sabihin ng very far? It could be less than half. It could be, halimbawa, ano ang mean natin pagka pinag-uusapan ang score na, ang total score na, sabihin na natin, 10. Ano ang gitna? O ano ang gitna natin? 5. Okay, 5? Tama ba? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Ang gitna is, sabihin ko na lang, hindi ako gumamit ng word na mean. Ang gitna is 5. Bakit 5 ang gitna? Bakit 5 ang gitna? Ilan ba ang score na expected dyan sa quiz na 1 to 10? Ilan ang score?
7.
Ha? Ilan ang score? Kalapis. If I have an item of 1 to 10 and 1:1 ang pointing system ko, ilan ang i-expect kong score?
Sir, 7.
7? Naku, patay. Oh, Turida. Turida.
Yes, yes, sir.
Anong
Yes,
sir?
sir.
Anong sir?
Ah,
Tinatanong
sir.
kita. Tinatanong kita kung mano nga score ti expectaret if I have a quiz of 1 to 10, which is 1 to 1 naman ang pointing system.
Yes, sir.
Ilan ang score?
Sir, nasa 7 po.
Nasa 7. Naku, patay. Hindi
Yes.
ata naintindihan yung tanong ko ah. Oh, Ilocano-langan, mano nga score ti expectarem no iti quiz nga 1 to 10 ket 1 is to 1 ti pointing system. Mano nga score ti expectarem?
10, sir.
10.
Yes, Mark.
10, sir.
10. Elaine,
10, sir.
10. Micaela,
10 din.
10. Basilan. Nako, nakatulog na ata to. Basilan.
Sir, 5.
5. Naku. Balik ako kalapis. Paano?
10, sir.
10. Patay. 11. Sabi ko, 5 ang nasa gitna. Nasa gitna ba ang 5 pagka ang score is 10? Wala sa gitna. Ah, di ba? Bakit 11? Kasi sigurado may nakakakuha ng 0. O, di ba? Oh, from 0 to 10, ano ang nasa gitna? Isulat mo nga. O, magsulat ka. 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ano ang nasa gitna?
5.
Hindi.
5. 5 ang nasa gitna. Di ba? Ay, po kaya nga ang word ko kagad is gitna para maintindihan. Hindi ko na ginamit yung word na min o gitna. Oh. You know, in a quiz, you do not expect that everybody will get perfect or everybody get 1 and above. There is always a score of 0. Yan. Okay, so yun ang gitna, no? Now, balik tayo. Okay? Variance ang pinag-uusapan. Sabi dito, the larger the value of the variance, the farther the values of dx from the mean. Ibig sabihin, pagka malaki ang variance, meaning mas maraming nakakakuha ng ano? Ano? 0 at
5.
0 at naku. 0 at 10. Bakit? Gitna nga eh. Ang pinakagitna natin is 5. Sabi dito, malaki ang variance, kaya lumayo or maraming student ang nakakakuha ng mas maliit kesa 5, mas malayo sa 5. Kung mas malayo sa 5 yan, ano yung mga number na malayo sa 5? 10 at
6 to
saka 10 at saka 0.
9.
Okay, ganyan yan. Ibig sabihin, mas maraming nakakuha ng 0, 1, 2, ganyan. Or, mas maraming nakakuha ng 8, 9, 10. Yun ang ibig sabihin ng variance. Okay? Are you following? So, ibig sabihin, kung very small, if the variance or the value of the variance is a very small number, meaning to say, karamihan sa mga student is lumapit sa score na 5 or lumapit sa gitna na score. Okay? Yun ang ibig sabihin yan. Are you following?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Yes, sir.
We are talking of the meaning of variance. So again, when we are talking of the variance, sabi dito, the larger the value of the variance, the farther the value of x from From the mean. Ano ang mean? Yung gitna kanina na sinasabi ko. Okay? So yun ang ibig sabihin niyan. Okay? And back na tayo doon sa isang statement. So when you see this one, this is the symbol for standard deviation. Okay? How about this one? With exponent, that is the variance. Okay, klaro tayo? Okay. I will use yung presentation ko kanina. Anyway, itong example number 3 is nasa module ninyo, no? So, gamitin ko yung illustration ko kanina sa variance. Okay? Okay, dito tayo sa variance. So, you will notice when we get the variance of the problem, we add this one. So, when we add this one, it will give us 0.81, and that is our variance. Now, paano naman natin kukunin ang standard deviation? Okay? Paano naman ang standard deviation natin? Pagka kukunin mo ang standard deviation, first, i-compute mo muna ang variance. Pagkatapos mong kinuha ang variance, just extract the square root. And have your calculator. I-press nyo si square root. Okay? Square root. Square root tayo. So, the square root of 0.81. The square root of 0.81. Ano ang result?
0.9, sir.
0.09. Okay, so ang standard deviation natin is 0.9. Okay? Ayan. Okay? 0.9.
Sir, sa akin po naka-negative. Sir, negative 0.9.
Hindi pwede. Hindi pwede because wala tayong extracted root, square root na negative. Palaging positive yan. Okay? So, mali ang pressing mo ng i-check mo how you press your calculator, Okay? So, yan. So, positive. Okay? Positive. So, that is how to get the mean variance, standard deviation. Okay? Mean, variance, and standard deviation. Any question? Okay. So, maybe that would be enough. Pagka walang tanong, I think masyadong mahaba na 2 hours. 2 hours tayo, sakit na din ang vocal cords ko.